Sad news to report now. Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband, Brandon Blackstock, has died. So we know this according to People magazine. Brandon was 48 years old.
I don't know how anybody, I'll just be real with you, goes through grief, like divorce, any kind of grief, any kind of loss, without having an outlet.
Nashville didn't just wake up to bad news, it woke up to a bombshell. Brandon Blackstock, once the power broker behind country's biggest names and Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband, was gone at just 48. His family confirmed he'd fought cancer for over 3 years before passing quietly, surrounded by loved ones. But the real shock came later, at a private memorial so secret its leaked guest list set Hollywood buzzing. Unexpected reunions, silent stares, whispers no outsider could hear. What went down behind those closed doors? No one's talking, yet. Brandon's career was pure industry gold, managing Kelly, guiding Blake Shelton, playing the game where rivals smile on camera and fight for dominance off it. On August 7, 2025, his fight with melanoma ended. His family kept the statement short. Peaceful passing, loved ones close. But grief wasn't the only thing in the air. Hours later, Kelly Clarkson axed her Vegas dates, saying her kids came first. The focus shifted instantly to the memorial. Hidden location, airtight security, zero press. The mystery only deepened. Inside, the guest list was surgical, every name handpicked. No cameras, no leaks, except one. That single breach lit up Nashville. Among the attendees, people who'd once been on opposite sides of Brandon's life. The most shocking, Reba McEntire, his former stepmother. Their history? Complicated. The look on her face that night? No one's forgotten. The memorial kept throwing curveballs. First came a famous artist who once dragged Brandon into a multi-million-dollar legal fight, walking in like the feud never happened. Then TMZ caught the moment that froze the room. Two old enemies in the industry, one a former ally, the other a direct rival, standing shoulder to shoulder before his coffin. And then, Kelly Clarkson. No words, no speeches. Just a black envelope placed on the coffin before she slipped out. Its contents? Still a mystery. Moments later, security hauled out a guest caught filming on their phone, fueling online chatter about how tense the air had become. Then came the family's turn. A letter from Brandon to his kids, live with passion and don't fear failure, pulled the room into silence. The emotion deepened when they revealed he'd just learned he was about to become a grandfather again, only days before his passing. Tears weren't optional. Outside, fans and press swarmed social media, driving hashtag Brandon Blackstock straight to the top of U.S. trends. Tributes from stars poured in, many admitting they'd never known about his long private battle with cancer. A Rolling Stone veteran put it best. This wasn't just a farewell, it was a collision of rivalries, reconciliations, and raw respect. A funeral where grudges paused, secrets surfaced, and the world realized the man behind the spotlight had been fighting a war no one saw coming. The fight started in silence. In 2022, fresh off a headline-making divorce from Kelly Clarkson, Brandon Blackstock got news no one wants. Melanoma. Aggressive, dangerous, deadly if caught too late. He told almost no one. A few family members. A couple of Kelly's staff. That was it. Even people who'd worked beside him for years had no clue. For over 3.5 years, he battled while staying out of sight. Small music projects. Quiet family business. No big public moments. By early 2025, the change was visible. Weight gone, energy fading. Kelly, mid-season on her talk show, suddenly pressed pause for family. She didn't say why, but sharp-eyed fans guessed. March 2025 brought a rare sighting. Brandon at the Houston rodeo with his kids and relatives. Thinner, weaker, still smiling, still talking with old friends. No one knew it would be one of the last times. By July, the decline was undeniable. And in the first week of August, everything changed. Doctors told him to rest. On August 6th, Kelly canceled all her Las Vegas shows, a bold move for a superstar, choosing family over fans. The next morning, August 7th, 2025, at a private Montana ranch, Brandon Blackstock passed peacefully, surrounded by those he loved most. Kelly's brief statement was simple: "I need to be fully present for our children." Tributes poured in. Blake Shelton called him steadfast, a man who always put family first. Rascal Flatts shared behind-the-scenes memories, thanking him for his impact on music and friendship. His final months had been a quiet battle, a shield for his family, earning him respect from colleagues and fans alike. The story behind the spotlight was now coming into view, revealing a man whose influence shaped the country music scene. Brandon's roots trace back to Fort Worth, Texas, 1976. Son of veteran manager Narville Blackstock and Eliza Gale Ritter, he grew up surrounded by music. After his parents divorced in 1988, Narville remarried Reba McEntire. Despite the family complexities, Brandon maintained a close bond with her, a connection that would ripple through his life and career. Brandon grew up inside country music royalty, father a top manager, stepmother Reba McEntire, and the industry rubbed off early. After graduating, he jumped into Starrock Entertainment, his father's company, gaining instant access to the inner circle. He worked with Nashville heavyweights, Blake Shelton, Rascal Flatts, and rising stars alike. Brandon wasn't just keeping stars shining, he was building empires, multi-million-dollar contracts, his specialty, global tours, organized to perfection. Colleagues called him discreet but ruthless behind the scenes, blending artistry with business like a master. Kelly Clarkson said it herself, she wouldn't hire him if he wasn't that good. From Blake's tours to Rascal Flatts' European campaigns, Brandon's fingerprints were everywhere. Crisis? Handled. Brand expansion? Done. Artists trusted him, respected him, even when he challenged them. Straightforward, tactical, always thinking 10 moves ahead, he turned talent into legacy. By the mid-2010s, Brandon Blackstock wasn't just a manager, he was Nashville's quiet powerhouse. Brandon was on top of Nashville, then love changed everything. Kelly Clarkson wasn't just an American Idol winner, she was a global star. When they connected, Brandon's life flipped from backstage power to front-page headlines. Their first meeting? 2006 ACM Awards rehearsals, just a quick hello. But in 2012, they met again in Nashville. This time, sparks flew. By the end of that year, Brandon proposed. In 2013, they married on a Tennessee farm, just family, friends, and a fairy tale vibe. They built a blended family, River Rose, Remington Alexander, plus Brandon's 2 children from before. To the world, they were the perfect artist couple, success, love, kids. But Brandon wasn't just Kelly's husband. As her manager, he landed her The Voice gig, sealed the Kelly Clarkson show, and locked in big brand deals. They were building an empire together, until cracks began to show. From 2013 to 2018, they were unstoppable. Kelly was stacking awards, selling out tours, and owning TV screens. Brandon was the strategist, locking in line and Wayfair deals, Billboard Music Awards gigs, and keeping her brand bulletproof. Together, they looked untouchable. Kelly even told the world, "Brandon's totally the one. I've never been truly loved like this." But behind the smiles, the cracks were spreading. Endless schedules, kids to raise, clashing visions, Brandon thinking long-term business, Kelly craving balance. Little disagreements turned into late-night fights. To outsiders, nothing seemed wrong, but insiders now say the warning signs were there. Then June 2020 hit. Kelly filed for divorce after 7 years, citing irreconcilable differences. The media went wild. For 2 years, courtrooms became their battleground. Assets, custody, money, every detail under a microscope. By March 2022, it was over. Brandon walked away with $1.3 million up front, plus $11,500 a month in spousal support and $4,500 for child support. The perfect couple was now a headline about what went wrong. The divorce settlement was massive, $11,500 a month in spousal support, $4,500 for the kids, and $1.3 million up front. One of the biggest payouts in Hollywood history. But the battles didn't stop there. In 2023, a Los Angeles judge dropped a bomb, ordering Brandon to pay Kelly $2.64 million for violating California's Talent Agencies Act. He'd signed deals only licensed agents could touch. Brandon swore it was all for Kelly's benefit, but the ruling torched his professional reputation. By May 2024, the war finally cooled. They cut a private deal over disputed commissions, terms sealed tight. Brandon retreated from the spotlight, packing up for a $1.7 million Montana ranch they once fought over. Kelly wanted it sold. Brandon refused. Now it's his escape. Days on horseback, rodeos, livestock, a life far from music, headlines, and the storm they once lived in. Even in seclusion, Brandon stayed close to his kids, Savannah and Seth from his first marriage, River Rose and Remington from Kelly. As his health faded, he poured his time into them, making sure they'd be secure long after he was gone. When Brandon died, his fortune, worth several million, was split evenly between the 4 children. The estate included the Montana ranch, shares in the family company Starstruck Entertainment, personal investments, rodeo gear, and rare collectibles. Kelly wasn't listed as a beneficiary. Divorce agreements had already drawn those lines in stone. Still, lawyers say it might not be over. Some of those assets, like the ranch and music contracts, were divorce battlegrounds. If anyone challenges ownership, the legal fight could drag on. So far, the family's stayed silent. Brandon Blackstock's story is a mix of triumph, scandal, and unanswered questions. Once a powerhouse manager in Nashville, shaping careers for Blake Shelton, Rascal Flatts, and Kelly Clarkson, his name became tangled in divorce drama and courtroom battles. Behind the headlines, he was a devoted father, fiercely protective of his 4 children. But the truth about his final years? Still a mystery. Whispers from insiders hint at more than what's been told, but no one's laid out the full picture. That's why his private funeral drew so much attention, and why the conversation hasn't stopped. This isn't just a story about music, it's about the messy, human side of fame, and maybe the truth will surface one day. So, what do you think? Was Brandon's greatest legacy his music empire, or his family? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next big story.